turn, though, to the investigation into President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Two sources tell NBC News prosecutors for the Southern District of New York are trying to gain access to Giuliani's emails, but first need approval from federal counterparts before seeking a search warrant. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Julia Ainsley, who's on this story. So, Julia, good morning. What exactly would investigators be looking for in this case?
Well, they would be looking for all of his electronic communications, in particular his email. But it's really complicated, Willie, because as you point out, not only is Giuliani an attorney, he's the president's attorney. And so when you talk about getting information, getting communications that are protected under attorney-client privilege, as some of these would be, you have to go through Main Justice, and a lot of times they set up what's called a filter team. These are people who have the very tedious task of reviewing communications, deciding what is protected, and then they are the ones who decide what to hand over to prosecutors. So the prosecutors don't see anything that could be protected under attorney-client privilege. Now, as we've talked about Giuliani, he wears many hats. Some of these communications very well could not be protected by attorney-client privilege. But then you have the added layer that he is the president's attorney. And we understand that that could be a reason why some of this investigation was at least kind of went quiet for a while, that you can't take overt actions in an investigation that is this closely tied to a candidate. And at that time, the president was a candidate in the lead up to the election. So that's why we may have not heard as much about this investigation. In fact, we really hadn't heard much about what was happening in this investigation into Rudy Giuliani out of the Southern District of New York, really since last February. We knew that these investigators were interested in his bank records, that a lot of this stemmed from his activity in Ukraine, those very activities that were in the spotlight during the president's impeachment trials. But now we're hearing that this is ramping back up. Two sources say it's ongoing. One telling me it is, quote, very active.
So, Julia, is this an investigation just about Rudy Giuliani and potentially, as you say, his dealings with Ukraine? We know that Lev and Igor were arrested recently. They plead not guilty. But does this reach into the president's orbit specifically, or is this just about Rudy Giuliani?
So at this point, Willie, we don't know the scope, and it's especially hard because, like we said, we haven't known about it for so long. There's a lot that investigators can come across in an investigation like this, especially with someone like Rudy Giuliani, who is involved in so many pieces of the president's life. And so, of course, these are headlines that we would expect, the White House to look at and not just think, oh, that's a Ukraine thing, we put that to bed. When you're talking about the communications of Rudy Giuliani, who are also interested in those communications he would have had with the president. And that's why that pardon trigger now seems like something, the president we know he's been talking about with Rudy Giuliani. That's been reported. And so I think that is even more of something that we want to be looking for now, because if the president not only wanted to protect Rudy Giuliani, but also himself, knowing that some of his communications could be seen by investigators, that pardon is in his back pocket. And because this is a federal investigation, the president does have the power, and all he would need is a pardon to put this entire investigation to bed. And
thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.